Now, Fanta, give me a call and let me know exactly what is going on with regard to this library situation, because I received a call today from your mother while I was driving a car, and she was very upset, said you'd been spending a lot of time at the library and there had been some kind of altercation, and I was about to make a left turn. I had to say, Heidi, got to calm down. I will call you back because I'm driving a car right now, and this is not Taylorham where you can just drive a combine backwards down the highway with your bare feet on the steering wheel. But there are laws and there are standards, so I will call you back. Now, Fanta, I'm very happy to hear you're spending time at the library. The Taylorham-Chickasaw Pants West Library was, for me, a respite, and I spent many happy hours there as a girl, along with your father. While we were still attached Siamese twins, he would come to the library with me. He did not like it. And I, in turn, would go to the video arcade with him, which I did not care for because it was too dark in there to read, and it sounded like 500 electronic birds in cages just chirping and squawking and shrieking. And there I was, attached to your father, who could play Star Castle for 45 minutes on one chord. He also came up with every possible profanity word that can be spelled with 3 letters. It was his calling card. He's clever that way. He won't let on, but he's clever that way. Now, I want to hear your side of the story before I call your mother back, because I'm sure she's overreacting. Do you have late fees? Did you lose a book? Oh, are you reading about evolution? She's going to blame it all on me. She's going to say it's all my fault because I'm the one to do. God. I have to compose the appropriate nerve profile before I return your mother's phone call, because that woman makes me very anxious. She is an overreactor, and I've known that ever since the day I met her. Oh, the day I met your mother. Your father and I were getting over the chicken pox, which, as we were conjoined twins, presented its own unique challenges. Because we were attached at the elbow, your father had some sensory awareness of my forearm, and I was trying very hard not to scratch at my chickenpox. I did not want chickenpox scars, and I couldn't sleep at night because over the butcher paper he was trying to scratch my forearm, and I had to slap his hand down and say, "You scratch your own scabs. You do not scratch Aunt Feminina's." See, Fanta, these are old hands. These are 10 sausages. These are hot dog hands. But when I was young, my hands were a very expressive feature, and I wanted to be a hand model in Omaha, Chicago, or Toronto. And I was certain that someone would discover my expressive hands, and they would say, "Look, see her? Not him with the matches lighting the bottom of his shoe on fire, but her next to him? Those are the hands." So I was being very careful not to pick my chickenpox scabs. I didn't want any scars. So there we were, covered in scabs, your father and I. We went to our special ed class, and we discovered that all the special ed classes in the Taylorham-Chickasaw Pants West School District would be getting together in our auditorium to watch safety movies about not getting in cars with strangers and not doing drugs. So we were happy about that. We were going to sit cross-legged on the floor of the auditorium with every kind of defective child. See, this was the 70s, Fanta, and the criteria for being in special ed was questionable. Basically, if you had a cleft palate, if you were an albino, if you had 2 different shoes on, or if you were straight up mentally disabled, you went to special ed. There was no rhyme nor reason. And I would look around at our classroom, and I would think, I'm only in this class because I'm a Siamese twin. Because I was reading Dostoevsky, and I would look at my special ed teachers, and I would think, are they reading Dostoevsky? And I would really doubt it, Fanta. I would really doubt it. Basically, the premise of these film strips was that there are people who will try to put you in their car and touch you in all kind of inappropriate places, and don't take candy from strangers because it's probably drugs, because everybody's on drugs, especially men with mustaches and flare-legged pants, or conversely, men who dress like Hugh Beaumont. Well, there was a little girl sitting in front of us. She had a curvy S-shaped spine. She had scoliosis, mild case of scoliosis, and that was your mother. And this little girl was coughing and coughing, and I was trying to pay attention to the movie because I didn't want to be put in the car and touching all kind of inappropriate places or giving candy that was actually drugs, turn me into a prostitute. And there was your father. He was not paying attention to the film strips at all. He was scratching his scabs and trying to scratch mine and ruin my future. And this little girl sitting in front of us, she passed me a note, and it said, "Jesus loves you. Do you love him? Circle yes or no." I didn't have a pencil. I just wanted to watch the film strips, but she was very sweet, your mother. She was very sweet. She said that Jesus told her to be nice to us because we were freaks and she felt sorry for us. But what your mother doesn't realize is that I felt sorry for her too. I saw her snaky little S-shaped back all racked with coughs, and I felt bad for her. I wanted her to feel better, and I wanted her to be quiet so I could continue to learn what were the traits and attributes of those whom I should avoid when I am inevitably approached to become a hand model in Omaha, Chicago, or Toronto. I had some cough drops in my pocket, so I passed her one. I said, "Would you like a cough drop?" And Fanta, she screamed. Your mother stood up and shrieked that we were on drugs. We were drug addicts. We tried to give her drugs. There we were, covered in scabs. Your father and I being dragged out of that auditorium full of every kind of defective child, and there's your mother screaming, "They're on drugs. They tried to give me drugs. They're drug addicts." Overreacting. I was not giving your mother drugs. I was giving your mother kindness. Do you love Jesus, yes or no? Had I known your mother was going to be asking me that same question in various forms for the next 35 years, I probably would have told my brother, we got to move our seats. And then you wouldn't even be here, Fanta, so you owe me a call.